Hey everyone, I'm James here with Real Bias Gaming. Today I'm going to be talking about Disney Infinity. So, we all know licensed games usually have a really hard time being good for whatever reason. I mean, there's lots of examples of just really bad games based on movie licenses. So some of those examples would be, well, I don't play any. So there you go. That's your example. Most gamers don't touch these things. I mean, games like that usually just have a publishing company just throw a whole bunch of money at some small developer and say, hey, like, make this. It's gonna sell a certain amount because strong IP like Tron or Harry Potter especially. I mean, you're gonna sell some of those games almost no matter how much the game actually sucks or not. So it's kind of too bad. Sometimes they've kind of been this bane to the video game world and existence. But we know for the most part, there have been some exceptions, but for the most part, licensed games just do not sell well, and this is mostly because they're not very good games. So what is Disney Infinity? Well, it's a game actually used based on using models that you actually place on an infinity base. So you get these little caricatures of Disney characters, right? These little models, and you actually put them on the base, and that actually unlocks the ability to use that character in the video game. And not only that character, it actually unlocks their whole world. So if you get like Alice in Wonderland, you're going to have an entire huge level based on Alice in Wonderland. You know, if you want to do play with Jack Sparrow and play in the Pirates of the Caribbean, you're going to have this ship, you're going to have this whole huge Pirates of the Caribbean level that you're going to be able to play in and quest in. Now, along with the models, actually, you're going to be part of the idea is that you'll be collecting these little discs. Now, these discs actually represent abilities. So, say Mr. Incredible has a massive punch, or Buzz Lightyear has his jetpack and the wings. Those are actually going to be abilities on these discs, and you can use up to 2 discs at a time, putting them in. But you can use them on any character, so anybody can have Buzz Lightyear's jetpack and actually use that in their own world and their own mission. So it looks overall like this is actually going to be an open world kind of RPG with all these different worlds essentially that you can go into. I'm not so sure if you can use like different characters in other people's worlds, like if you can take a Toy Story character and put him in, say, the Incredibles world or into the Pirates of the Caribbean world. Not sure about that one yet. So far it does just seem like it's going to be the abilities. But that is going to be interesting because they say it's going to be like an RPG. You're going to have progression, you're going to level up, things are going to be moving with your character. But I wonder if, since they're kind of seem like they're pushing these discs that actually have your abilities on them, I wonder if that's going to be the only way to get new abilities is by buying these discs, or if leveling up will actually make your character better. Now, this is kind of a cool concept, the idea of collecting really cool characters, especially based on like a Disney IP. That's pretty cool. Being able to collect these things, but then also use them in a big open world that actually uses a whole lot of questing systems. There's going to be overarching storylines, as well as side quests that you can do to kind of learn more about the world, learn more about your character, and kind of get some more backstory beyond just what the movies give you. Now, obviously, the first comparison here that people are going to think of is Skylanders, the game, where, I mean, it's the same thing. You have models, you put them on this little base, and then that character with some kind of chip in them actually connects to the game and then unlocks new levels, or the character allows you to actually pass a certain level that none of your other characters could actually beat before. So the whole idea this whole thing has essentially been tried before. However, Disney might be able to do something that, I mean, the whole Skylanders series really wasn't able to do, which is, I mean, really draw on a huge audience that already knows this IP. I mean, personally, I'd be looking forward to things like Tron. Being able to play in a Tron world would be awesome. Also, Marvel, Disney just bought Marvel, or Star Wars. Like, you're going to be able to buy Star Wars action figures that you're then going to be able to use in the game. That's really, really exciting. I mean, and then for me personally also, like, I would love to have a Gaston. That would be awesome. A model and be able to play as Gaston and like punch everybody. Sweet. And of course get all the sweet ladies. Or like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. Maybe be able to transform from a llama into a human. Yes, I know I like weird random Disney movies, but all these things there's endless possibility with what they can do with this. And then they've actually mentioned that could allow them, this platform, this Disney Infinity platform, could actually allow Disney to not have to waste a lot of money on developing like new graphics engines and starting up a whole new studio to kind of make new games based off future movies. They could just, make future movies and then just add all that right into the Disney Infinity, because the whole framework is already there. They just need to make the new art for the new world in the Disney Infinity game, which could mean, bringing it back to my how bad most licensed games are, I mean, they'd be able to really focus on the quality of the storytelling and the characters. I mean, as much as you can in kind of a kid's game, but I mean, you can make a much more interesting world like that without having to build a whole new game from the very ground up. So that is really exciting. Lots of potential here in this project. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing, because this game that is going to be pretty expensive, it does seem to be kind of preying upon the parents wanting to buy stuff for their kids. But, I mean, I probably really want to get it. I know there's a lot of adults that really think Skylanders is a really good idea, and big people in the industry, like Mike from Penny Arcade, who tweets a lot about Skylanders and how his son plays, and he plays with his son, and how this could be something that's really cool for adults as well as kids. And I think so too. This is probably something, I'm not going to lie, this is probably something I'd like to get, if just be able to see what it is, and then have it there so that in the future, if there is a movie where I'm like, I'd really like to play around in that Disney World sometime, you know, I could just go out and buy the new character. And that'll be kind of one of my questions, you know, what do you think? Do you think do you think this is really something that only kids will enjoy, or do you think this is something that adults will be enjoying as well? So my only problem with this game so far, without of course having actually played it, is the name. I feel like I'm going to be sucked into some kind of infinite vortex of miniatures and models and discs and Disney IP. You know, I don't love games that aren't really subtle about how long they expect you to be playing this game. Let's see here. Army of 240th Day. That's a long time. What about like Infinity Blade? BioShock Infinite? I mean, how many Infinities do you think consumers have here to play your games? Come on, guys. In all seriousness, though, it does seem like this project is really cool, just in the idea that it could actually go on for a very, very long time, as I said, with new expansions for the game being based on all the new movies that are going to be coming out for Disney. It's a very interesting concept, and it's something that really only Disney could really leverage like this. Anyways, the game releases in June of this year, actually. It's going to be $75 for the whole base kit. So the first game, you actually get 3 characters, Sully from Monsters, Inc., Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, and Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles. You're also going to get the Infinity base. Now, you'll be able to buy new characters for $12, $12 or $13, and new abilities on the discs for $5. Slimy yet satisfying. Well, nobody would really expect this kind of thing from Disney to be cheap, but really it's not a bad deal, actually. I mean, new game, you think of a AAA title, it's going to be about $60. This, you get the Infinity base, you get the game, and you get 3 characters to actually play with, and it's said that these each character in their own world is supposed to have about 10 hours of content. They say 5 to 6 hours of main story, along with all the side missions that you're actually going to be able to do. So there is going to be a fair amount of content that you get with this, plus $75, of course, pays for the ability to use any future heroes that you buy, you know, right off the shelf. Well, what do you think? Is this a cool idea? I mean, is the fact they're marketing it towards kids kind of turning you off of it? Or maybe it doesn't turn you off, but do you think it'll actually affect the overall sales? Do you think there's a lot of people out there besides you who actually would, you know, think this is a game for kids and wouldn't even touch it, even though it has these kind of RPG elements and miniatures collectible elements in there that are usually based and marketed towards all ages, young and old? Well, I will just say Hakuna Matata, and I'm going to go start saving for all the cool characters that I really hope are going to be on their way for this game. Once again, I'm James, and this is Real Biased Gaming.